Hi guys, I'm here to talk to you about super presets today. So it's just gonna be a little bit of a light entry topic, and by I mean when I say light, it's at least half an hour of my voice that you will be listening to. So don't fall asleep. Okay, so anyway, come to Super Presets, you're VIP 19, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, the world opens up to amazing possibilities. Now, if you don't have VIP 19 and you don't have a Super Preset, keep all your gold and do whatever it takes to get there, because a mansion without super presets, it's a pain to play on, seriously. So guys, like, this is the first thing you can do and you have to do if you are in a faction and you get a lot of gold, you get a lot of gifts, and you're just VIP 18. Save that gold and upgrade to VIP 19. I promise you, your world will change. So I have a couple of super presets. This is something you can, adjust. First of all, really importantly, you can adjust. So now we're in like battle mode. We're starting to fight people in towers and stuff. So then I would, shift around what my priority super presets would be, because basically, well, I can do that manually with everyone, or I just move the production all the way to the bottom. If you use your finger, it's gonna be faster. So if you use a stylus, then I think it moves, one at a time. So this is me using a stylus, and it only moves one at a time. But if this is me using a finger, and I go all the way down. So in the city, I don't really have much to do. I don't fight a lot. I don't do anything. Pretty much it's just robbing, production of resources, and then another buff to just increase your action points renewal, right? And kingpin buffs and stuff. So these two settings come under production and city resource movement action, blah blah blah. So first, for the production rob, like before you do super presets, you have to make sure that four areas are set. So of course, formation you can put it in anytime, right? Then your governor war presets specialties has to be done, because that's really important. And I'll run through with you later what it looks like. Raw production, that's basically your underboss specialties. You have to have that set as well. So you have to have a whole series already done, and then you just basically just click on the super preset and create a new option with four different formation, the governor war specialties, the regular underboss specialties, and the equipment preset that you have, right? So this is my production and rob. So if I sit in this gear in the city, it's okay for me to be producing. So my mansion on this account is producing metal, and currently I have maxed out on the diamond. Well, I had it maxed out on Diamond Labs a couple of days ago, but because we're back in Governor's War and Massacre Day is starting, we're starting to do tower fights. So I've changed 7 of the Diamond Labs that I have to back to the 7 hospitals. That does slow down my training and stuff, but I do need that little bit of additional hospital beds, because if I were to join fights, in the towers, set raids, as well as for Supremo, we still have like a finals remaining. And if I do Massacre Day kills, it will be really annoying if I had like 40,000 hospital bed spaces, right? Then I'm gonna have to do 40,000 times like what, 100 outposts just to get 40 million swap kill points. Like, that's just ridiculous, right? So I had my hospitals up right now. I think it's about 600 something thousand troops. So every time I do uh, uh a swap kill, or like 1 or 2 outposts, then I have to heal, or when I'm fighting, I have to heal, so things like that. As Governor War progresses, those stats increase, because, when you have your group investments, they help with hospital bed space, and then you have your training buffs that you can increase if you have the like prison buff, right? So they have an increment in training, and that will increase your training. But anyway, back to super presets. So my first, which is production rob. So I click on production rob, apply. So what it does is actually puts my equipment in robbing, And that's like the maxed out robbing gear. I have my robbing gear previously, it was in Legacy. It's now in Grand because I actually dismantled them and I kept all the Legacy coins. I kept all the Legacy coins and I used it in my battle gear because battle gear to me is more important than robbing, because this is a production account and I have farms that produce more resources, right? So this is a battle account and it's really, really important that I'm my legacy coins, whatever I have, all goes to battle gear and fighting and upgrading jewels and whatnot, you know? So yeah, so this is, you can see it's like your maxed out robbery gear. This is a little bit more for advanced players, so I'm not gonna go start to basic like what is a robbery gear, what does it consist of, blah blah blah. Like you can watch other videos that I've put up long time ago. Go watch the history, like, you know, how to rob. That's a super basic video that I've put up, I think at least 2 years ago, so go check it out. And here I have my robbery gear, so that's part of the super preset for my production raw. And then for my underboss specialties, it's under robbery and production. So what is my robbery and production, right? Specialties here, robbery and production here. So it's basically maxed out for training speed, robbery, crew load, and the metal, my, because I produce metal on this account, so my metal's maxed out, my robbery is maxed out, which basically you just need these two, right? Because the excess points, I have a lot of points here, and the extra points I just put it on training speed for whatever reason. I don't have to. You can put it on anything else, but the priority is to have your robbery maxed out, because this is a robbery and production specialty. So robbery maxed out, metal maxed out. And then for Governor War specialties, if you look at my setting, it says train FCJ. So specialties, let's go and have a look. So train FCJ is this. Basically, it's just, for me, the middle development tree, it goes all the way down and it goes to training branch all the way down to the FCJ, which is the faction jeweler. So this allows me to pop the faction jeweler every day, and that, you know, you can have 5 people robbing it and it's pretty fun. You get a lot of diamonds out of it, so that's like a bonus buff, right? And this is because this account is Governor War 60 maxed out, so I get a lot of really awesome buffs on this account. So the next is, if I were to do training, for example, then I have a separate Governor War specialties for training, for healing, because for healing buffs you want to have your account maxed out with the training buffs plus healing buffs. So that is gonna increase all your healing speeds and your total healing buffs, right? So that I have in another video as well, how to heal. So go check it out and you'll really love it. I promise you, this is like one of the best videos that you need to watch. So just to share with you again, just a little bit of a brief, what I would do is let's say I go on healing, right? So just so you can see, it goes down this line, it increases the training speed, so just that one, and then I fill up the rest of the hospital and healing boost, and I go all the way to training enhancement. Ideally you stop here, but because I have extra points, I just, you know, use it anyway. So I just, you know, max out the rest of the stuff, which I kind of don't need, but I just do it anyway. So that's for healing. So whenever I do healing, I don't have a super preset for healing because I just have too many super presets that I need to set aside for battle. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have only 10 super presets on my account. 8 of them are used for battle. Oh, sorry. Well, not 8. Oopsie. So 7 of them are used for battle. 3 of them are used for everyday tasks. So the most annoying thing is every time you want to rob, you have to like manually click on this and manually click on that. So now I rob, I just click on this. and I'm set. So all my specialties are done for robbing, for everything. And then, so whenever I want to train, the same thing happens, right? So for training, it's different. I have my equipment on the battle gear. Any one of them works as long as you have your. So I'm gonna apply. Why that is my equipment set for training, because this is the melee. So my melee has my training speed maxed out because this is legacy Godfather. So only legacy Godfather, or well, Godfather gear in general, the melee has training speed. So if you want to increase your training, work on getting your melee up to grand or like legacy if you can as soon as possible. That will help you. So that's that. So equipment wise for training, that's a priority to get, any one of your battle gear, because some people have multiple, right? So any one of your Godfather battle gear, the best one if possible, up there on the melee spot. And then for regular underboss specialties, just basically anything that has the training specialties in. And then for Governor War, same, train, FCJs. That's the same one that I use for production Rob. So it's like multiple specialties, or that specific specialties can be used in multiple super preset configuration. Formation, you can use whatever formation you like to sort of sit in. In general, most people use Hitman squares just because for some reason when you practice on attacking a lot of different stuff, you will see that Hitman square kind of has the least deaths in a way, but that doesn't apply to all. Okay, so like when I do single troop attacks, when I'm on biker, I usually use biker wedge, and then when I'm on like Hitman, I would use bruiser wedge, and then when I'm on bruiser, I would use Hitman wedge. I have that explained in a different video as well, and it goes, case to case. Like if you're an offensive player or a defensive player, you can change your formations based on what kind of player you are. For me, I'm a bit more offensive rather than defensive. So I don't mind killing a lot more troops, but I want to kill more of the enemy troops as well. So I kill more of my troops and I kill more of the enemy troops because I'm strong. So I want to get the fight over and done with fast. But if you're weaker than your opponent, then ideally you want to protect your troops more. So then you use a defensive formation, which is basically having your troops at the back. That protects your troops when you fight. For me, I like my troops in the front line because I want to kill them as fast as I can, right? So that gives me like the best possible outcome for the attack battle. So yes, that's my training Rob thing. So city resource movement action points, blah blah. This is something that I mostly, when I'm not doing anything, I sit in this presets. Now, why do I sit in the preset? It's basically because battle gear wise, my gear wise, I'm like I said, I'm actually, my account does production. So I have my diamond labs done right now. Like most of my diamond labs are up. I just changed only, like I said earlier in the video, I've just swapped back 7 hospitals, or I've changed 7 diamond labs into 7 hospitals because I'm fighting and I'm doing massacre day and stuff here. So that's why I still have my diamond production shovel up the melee. And then I have my production for my metal. This ring helps with the production on metal. And of course, another diamond production, for the top. So this helps with that. Because if I had it on my Godfather's coat, there is no production buffs on it. So this is what I sit in for gear-wise. And that's for my city resource movement action points. So I'll explain every single part of it. Then, of course, my underboss specialties preset is maxed out for resources. So I don't even rob in this. This is basically me. When I log off, that's what my account is going to be on. So I'm just focused on producing resources, right? So this resources specialty is basically just maxed out, just pure resources. I max out on the diamonds. I max out on the specialties on the metal production. I max out specialties on the cargo production, the ammo production, and such. So that just maxes out the resource, and I have a preset a preset under the underboss specialties done for that. Then my Governor Wars specialties preset is max power, which is just my kingpin. So if you look at Governor Wars specialty, max power is basically your enhancements tree all the way down from top to the bottom here. So what that does is it actually helps with your action points recovery. And if I do kingpins or hit anything, this is the challenge damage. It helps to increase. And of course, I have a repetition of my max power, which, I can use almost on a daily basis. I can click on it and all my kingpins start at 15 damage. So, or with the bonus of 15 damage. So I don't have to start from 0. Because after 25 hits, you sort of max out your damage at like 404% additional buff. So this starts you off at 16 because you get 15 free. So instead of like without the max power, I would say kill a Madame, or right now the Madame is no longer called a Madame. It's called a Valkyra. So the Valkyra, I would kill it normally without the max power buff. I need 25 hits. With the max power, I only need 15 hits and I can just kill it with the same, with less energy, but maximum power. So that is really efficient. So right now, I only do Kingpin kills when my max power buff is available, and I don't do it outside of max power buff unless Professor is coming. So yeah, so this is basically the setting. The max power setting is what I use when I want to regain my action points and regain my kingpin buffs and all of those stuff, right? So another thing I do is again the formation on Hitman Square preset. So that's just like a standard thing I use for most of the stuff except for battle presets, which is totally different. So yeah, that's how it looks for my CT resource movement action points. Now, what this setting is basically what I use in the city when I just sit there and I collect resources on my mansion. So my mansion is producing resources, but at the same time, the rest of the battle gear, if you look, I have all my jewels and family crystals up. So my family crystals are all in bikes, and the jewels are all, for helping movement speed. If you look at it here, this helps movement speed by 15%, and then this one helps it with 3%. So this is another 3% on the other one, and then this is like just a biker. And the reason why I do the setup for this on this setting is because when I'm in the city, I like to hit dead turfs. So usually you can have your, the other gear, which is this. This has movement speed as well, 16.5%. And it has this as well. Sorry, for the shoes, you have this, which kind of, investor shoes increase the movement speed. But because I wanna have battle gear on, in case I do get attacked, I have additional buffs just from the battle gear. Because like I said, when I go to sleep, I'm in this setting. So if anyone tries to attack me, I've got like a lot of troops, so I probably wouldn't die. I don't think anyone will attack a 74 million troop mansion. And most of the 74 million troops are T4s. I barely have T1s and T2s just for robbing. And of course for my raids. But everything else, it's pretty much just for fighting. So people use T1s or T2s as, that there is a term for it. Hold on. Let me catch it. Meat shield, meat wall. So, but for me, my meat shield or my meat wall is T3s. So yeah, I hope you do come and attack me while I sleep. I would love that. I would love to catch your UB. I'm gonna be very happy if that happens. So yes, which makes me a little bit more cautious when I have my battle gear. I prefer that if I'm just sitting, and then manually I could just click on something else, if I do want to have equipment, in I used to have it. I called it police raid equipment setting. But because, I reset everything, I have very limited slots. So you have to sort of choose which is the most important for you. And I did add in the Challenger Kingpin. Sorry. Yeah, I added in some other really important battle setting for me. So that's why I had to remove my movement speed one. So this is kind of replacing it. It's not the best, but it works because you barely do. The thing is, if you're in the city, you don't really have police raids to do. And then if you're doing hitman, they're so near to you, you don't really need to move fast. Underground market, it's so near to you, you don't have to move faster. Like, this is having all the jewels there already helps. So I think it's a little bit of an overkill. So this was priority for me, that my battle gear was up when I was sleeping. That made me feel more comfortable. So that's the setting I saved. And then, yes, so action points, basically, like when your action points renew, you can attack more. So when I'm in the city, and I love attacking scavengers and I love attacking casinos, because every scavenger that I attack right now, I get at least 3 hours of speed ups there. So 3 hours, it's either regular 3 hour speed ups or 3 hour, like healing speed ups or investment speed ups, or training speed ups. So either way, it's always 3 hour speed ups that I get plus additional resource boxes. So that's really important for my action points to renew as fast as possible. So again, when I go offline, when I'm sitting in the city, when I do nothing or I'm just attacking dead turfs, that's my setting, because that helps me to produce resources. At the same time, I also can attack mansions, I can make resources, I can recover my action points. So that's like the best, for me, the best setting that I sit in without needing to do anything else. It's the most benefit, or the most beneficial setting for my mansion. Now, oopsie. So having said that, let's go to the next setting. Super presets. So training. Every time professor comes up, like, the last thing you want is to be manually adjusting all your training stuff. So I just click training, and what it does is, for my training super presets, I have my, you can randomly choose, anyone. Again, like I said, it's using the one that has the training gear. I think I've talked about this already. So yeah, training buffs on the regular specialties, and then your underboss, your governor war specialties under the training, the training tree, and then formation, whatever formation, doesn't really matter. So you click on it, you do your training, and it's done. And then after that, you just go back to your city resource movement, whatever. So that's the default that I keep producing my metal and my diamonds. And okay, so the reason why on this setting I have my family crystals all bikes is because, like I said, I like to attack dead turfs in the city. So having that, I always use bikes to attack dead turfs. And so when I do that with my family crystals and the buffs up, oh, by the way, the battle gear is also biker. So biker battle gear, mostly biker battle gear, and um the family crystals being biker. So I think this is an old one because I have a new biker gear that I just made. So one of them probably needs to be changed, but it's not a big deal. It's not so important because most of the dead turfs, they don't have troops. So even if I attack them without a UB, my troops will not really die. So I'm not worried about that. So it's just to help increase your buffs a little. Put the biker, like you see, all of them have biker jewels in them for movement speed, but also to give the biker HP, and then the family crystals. So that's just a general thing. You can put anything else if you want to. It doesn't really affect it. It's just a little bit of a bonus buff whenever you can or whenever you need it. So then it comes to my three single troop presets, which is just oh sorry, Bruiser, Hitman, Biker. So Bruiser, Hitman, Biker basically is just everything Bruiser, everything Bruiser, everything Bruiser, and the same thing, you know, your formation for your Bruiser, and then your Biker. Sorry, so Hitman, everything Hitman, Battle Gear, Hitman, underboss, regular specialties, and then Governor War specialties maxed out on Hitman. Formation, I put Bruiser, Wedge for my Hitman. My biker super presets, I have a biker wedge formation, a biker governor war specialty setup, and then I have a regular specialty setup for bike, and my equipment is all biker single troop, which I just updated. Of course, you know, your family crystals, your jewels all have to be following that specific thing, but that's under equipment. Once you set up equipment, that's totally good because you just connect the equipment and link it to the super preset. So it's really, really easy. But everything has to be done before you do your super presets, like your equipment, your governor war specialties, your regular specialties. All those presets have to be saved before you can do your super presets. Then, of course, I have the additional special super presets. This is for battle. This is basically a defensive fighting super preset. So, for example, if I have a Hitman single attack coming and I have mixed troops, I don't have time to swap troops, you know, I want to take the hit from, let's say, a biker coming to attack. So when a biker is coming to attack me, I will put my presets on Hitman Strong and Biker Strong. So Hitman Strong to counter the enemy's bikers, and Biker Strong so my bikers can fight their bikers, because I have mixed troops in my tower or my building. So if I have mixed troops, I want to put my forward attack against them. So if they're bikers, if biker is coming, and I put my hitman in the front line, I have a better chance at winning the battle. And I put my bruisers to the back, because bikers are coming. You want your bruisers to have minimal damage as possible. So you move them to the back, you put your hitman in the front line, and then your bikers are flanking. So when their bikers come, your hitman goes first, and your hitman is where all your stats are concentrated at, and then your biker is, you know, flanking, and so the next group of stats you can put on your biker. So how I do it is, I did have another video that I posted earlier, which is Obscure Weapons Market, and this is the one that is posted just today. Let's see, that's 12th July, Friday. I just posted that. Go check it out. It's a really, really awesome video, very important for advanced players. So yes, that's how I do my setup. So when it comes to regular specialties and battle gear, so for example, I have my 442. So this is to defend against hitman, right? So assuming, if you think about it logically, hitman is coming, what do you want to do? Have your bruiser in the front line, right? So if your bruisers are in the front line, what kind of battle gear do you need? Bruiser hitman. And the reason is, if you have bruiser biker, it will work, but you want your hitman to be strong as well, because your hitman will fight against their hitman, because your hitman is a flanking, you know, the flank line of your formation. Your bruiser is in the front line, so your bruiser has to be the strongest, followed by your hitman. So whatever stats you have, focus on putting it on the bruiser and hitman. So if your battle gear, if you have bruiser hitman for all 8, that's great. If you don't, it's okay. Use bruiser bike if you don't have like bruiser hitman and that specific battle gear, you know, or you have like bruiser bike legacy and you Godfather legacy, and you only have a king's elite for bruiser hitman. Naturally you have to go with the legacy gear, because that's going to give you stronger buffs for your bruiser, because your bruisers are still the front line, right? So that's that. Equipment wise, regular governor war specialties wise, you use bruiser hitman. You can have both settings, and then you have enough points for that. And then governor war specialties, you can just use focus on bruiser single line all the way from top to the bottom, as far as you can go, depending on how many points you have for governor war. And of course for formation, it's gonna be different, because formation, you know, if the hitman is coming, you want your bruiser in the front line and your hitman flanking. Your bikers, you want them all the way to the back, right? if the hitman is coming, you want your bikers at the back. I just repeated that. So that formation is bruiser wedge. You know, bruiser in the front line, hitman and flanking, your biker at the back. So all of this entire super preset has to be done if you have a proper understanding of your formations, which is in the front, which is flanking, which is at the back. If that is very simple, you just have to memorize it. There's no other way around it. You just have to memorize it. And then you need to have all your presets done, and voila, your super presets are so easy. Now, every player has a different way of doing super presets, of course. You know, this is a game where you have freedom, 100% control of whatever you want to do. But this is how I do it, and it makes sense to me. It's very logical to me. It may be different for others. They may have like a farm account that is VIP 19, VIP 20, but they don't fight. You know, then that way you want to have more settings for production, for healing, for like all of that super presets. So for me, when I do, because I don't have enough super preset space, so I train a lot more than I heal, and I rob a lot more than I heal, and I sit in my default resource production stats like all day long, multiple times a day. I have to click on that. So those are more like larger priorities to the healing ones. So whenever I do healing, what I do is I go manually 2 steps. I click on the training, because training, you know, all the training stats increase it. But then when I go to Governor War specialties, instead of regular training, I go to healing. And that maxes out all of my healing specs. That's it. It's just 2 steps, right? So that's the only thing that I regret that I don't have enough of. But everything else is all good. So that's it. Some people want to have, you know, like a challenger gear setup. So when you're doing Kingpin, you just click on the challenger. So that is one thing that I have to have manual. So that one I have to manually do it, because like I said, I don't have enough super presets available for it. Most of my super presets are taken up for battle. So that just makes it 2 steps for me. Again, I dismantle all my Kingpin gear just to make, you know, the legacy gear for battle. So it doesn't look really amazing right now. But yeah, so I click on this, and then I go to regular Governor War specialties, and I just go out on max power. And that's how I do my Kingpin. So every time I hit Kingpin, 2 steps. Gear change, max power on the Governor War specialty. So it's not that bad, you know. Anything that's 2 steps, it's not that bad, because Kingpin, I don't do it every day. I do it every Kingpin day. And every Kingpin professor. So it's still acceptable. But everything else I need to use it all day long. And even for battle, like that again is a priority. So I have, you know, all my settings there. I hope this video has helped you somehow to, you know, if you're VIP 19, you just turned VIP 19, or if you've had VIP 1920 for some time, have no idea what you're doing, or you need to like ask your friends to help you set it up, don't. Because once your friends log into your account, seriously, if they use a spare phone, this is totally out of the box, or totally out of the topic. But if they have a second device, like an iPad or your laptop or something, they log into your account and you play on your account, right? And someday they can literally steal it from you, because even if you change the email, you unlink it, you link into another email, as long as they have that game logged into that account on that device last, anytime they turn the game on that device, like an iPad or like a laptop, every time they click on the game and they load it, it's going to go into your account, even if you unlinked it. So seriously, it's not a you know, a good thing, because at the end of the day, you really don't know people until you know them. I've had people that I've trusted in the past, like I've had R4s that I've trusted with some of my accounts, and I had accounts stolen, I had accounts scammed. One of the R4s that I had tried to sell like a 1 billion account long time ago, for 1,005, and then he disappeared. He was like from my very first city. So I kind of knew him from there. Anyway, I'm not gonna name names. You know, it's over. It's the past. I understand why people do what they do sometimes. You know, life is difficult. They have to do stuff, you know, to get money or whatever it is. So you just forgive, move on, but don't repeat the mistakes, you know. It is said in a very big book, very important book, forgive, right? But it never said to forget. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and have fun. Enjoy working towards your VIP 19 if you don't have it. And if you do have it, I hope this helps you in creating better super presets for your mansion. So have fun. Bye.